gallant captain, you're forgetting that I'm here. Before you go, I've something to tell you. Goodbye, goodbye, Master Carabino. 'Tis a new sort of life, sir, you'll have to see now. Say goodbye now to pastime and play, lad. Say goodbye to your airs and your graces. Here's an end to the life that was gay, lad. Here's an end to your games with the girls. Here's an end to the life that was gay, lad. Here's an end to your games with the girls.
Yes?
Lewis, the hell's going on there? It's like condoms outside. Get rid of them now.
Not now, you fool. The hotel. At the hotel, get rid of them, will you? Off you go now. Just a mistake. The gentleman will join you in a minute. Order drinks, anything you want. Smoked salmon sandwiches, champagne. Come on, girls.
Screw you, mate.
Herr Diethofer has just raised the question of the delay in our obtaining planning permission. I've pointed out to him that you are a member of the council and have a seat on the planning committee.
That's so. I really see no problem.
Herr Diethofer would also like to make the development contracts conditional upon our obtaining planning permission.
Ah.
Otherwise, conditions and terms are agreed.
I will personally see to it that Mr. Craig has the full cooperation of the Minister of the Environment, personally and without delay.
Oh, das ist gut.
There's certainly no overspill. Very well contained within the site. One doesn't really like to see a brewery on an inner city site. Obnoxious odours.
This is an absolutely modern installation with complete pollution control.
With the inspectorate will go into that, of course. Anyway, the overriding factor is the economic one. Capital investment and the provision of jobs. Department of Trade and Industry are going to like it, there's no doubt about that. What would the employment figure be on a plant of this size?
As Mr. Raphael has said, it's a very modern plant. There's a high degree of automation. Of course, there are laboratory and office staff.
Yes, but shop floor?
Well over 100.
I see. So the only problem is your difference with the local council. Morris Taylor still clings to his Slatterly festival project, I understand.
For which, as Craig's company owns the site, there's no possible prospect of realisation.
Well, nevertheless, it's still before me, representing official council policy for this site, so you'll have to go through the appeals procedure. I think we'd better have another look at Morris Taylor's project, since it's the only alternative I'll be considering. It is rather grand, isn't it? But certainly impractical. Right. One moment. We haven't actually seen what your thing's going to look like. You have some sort of perspective drawing, do you not? I'd keep that under your hat for as long as you can, if I were you. Or you'll have the Fine Arts Commission down on you like a ton of bricks. However, if your local authority doesn't produce any alternative except the festival project, I'd say there'll be no serious problem arising. I'm speaking unofficially, of course.
Of course, Craig will have to accept a limitation on the size of the brewery to conform to your overall concept of the development.
Now, what you've just been looking at is an outline project on which discussions might be made. It is, in other words, what we would like to see built on the Slatterly site. Now, whether the developer will agree with this remains to be seen.
Has Mr. Taylor seen it?
Well, I thought it wiser to approach you first, Mrs. Kemp. From what you said at Health and Housing Committee meetings, I had the feeling that this might interest you. However, your reaction emboldens me to think that it might not be unwise to place this scheme before the planning committee.
No. No, don't do that. This does need rather careful handling, so Why didn't you leave it with me?
Why, yes, of course, Mrs. Kemp.
Well, gallant captain, you're forgetting that I'm here. Before you go, I've something to tell you. Goodbye, goodbye, Master Carabino. 'Tis a new sort of life, sir, you'll have to see now. Say goodbye now to pastime and play, lad. Say goodbye to your airs and your graces. Here's an end to the life that was gay, lad. Here's an end to your games with the girls. Here's an end to the life that was gay, lad. Here's an end to...
Yes, what is it?
Just look at this, Morris. She's had this printed up by my planning department. She's had council draftsmen working on it in council time without my knowing a thing about it. It's too much, Morris. It makes me look an absolute idiot to my own department.
Who prepared the scheme on which this is based?
The new planning officer, this fella Shred. Bloody nerve. Not a word to me, as I said. And that bloody woman was onto it like a hawk, of course.
What does she propose to do about it?
Present it to the party group.
Let her.
She wants to present it in person.
Let her.
What if they go and approve it?
Chest thrown out and shoulders back, sir. Hold your head up, not so slack, sir. Take your musket on your shoulder. That's the right style for a soldier. Duty calls you to death or glory. As to pay, that's another story. Quite another story. Quite another story.
We can't go to the Minister officially without letting the Council Planning Department have copies of our appeal. And when we do, Annie will have that scheme of Shreds on the Minister's table and we'll be into public inquiries, red tape and God knows what all till the cows come home.
I'm not bothered.
Well, you will be if those crowds start looking for a new site with no hassles attached. And I'm going to have to help them find it, Tom. I can't afford to lose the deal they're offering me.
It's very short-sighted of you, Lewis.
Hell, Tom, they're the biggest brewers in Europe.
Look, Annie Kemp doesn't matter. Nor does that scheme of hers. Unless she can get it adopted by Reg Palmer and his planning committee as official policy, she can't do a thing with it. Now, you ought to know that. So take it easy, calm down.
So what's she pushing it for? Just to make a nuisance of herself?
More than a nuisance. She got herself the Health and Housing Committee by making a nuisance of herself. No. What she's after now is the party leadership.
Oh, I can't see it. Craig City Partnerships own the site. Craig City Partnerships call the shots. There'll be a brewery up on that site while she and Morris Taylor are still squabbling.
Not if we let them find it out first.
Oh, come on, Tom. For God's sake, bung in that appeal and get this thing wrapped up. There's a lot of money involved.
How many pubs do you own, Lewis? Hotels, clubs, off-licences. How often you put in for planning permits? Extensions, conversions, new buildings. Not to mention your licensing applications.
What do you think I'm sitting on the council for?
When you bring these Germans in, you want to expand your retail outlets, acquire new buildings, really move along. You still want these part-time politicians on your back?
I can live with it.
Why live with it? When there could be people running this city with enough wit to realise that their interests and our interests are the same.
Are you planning to take over the council?
That's right.
We must take the initiative. We must show Craig that the Slatterly site can be developed along lines consistent with the public interest, must be so developed, and not allow him to take advantage of our inertia to exploit it solely on the basis of commercial profit. Thank you.
I've studied Mr. Shred's scheme with great interest. I congratulate him on the time and effort that he and the officers of his department have put into its production. Most interesting exercise in planning design.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Now, if Mr. Shred will kindly withdraw, we'll proceed to the main business of the monthly policy meeting. The forthcoming local government elections.
I'm sorry, Morris, but I'd like to know what action you're proposing to take on Mr. Shred's outline scheme.
I shall probably appoint a planning subcommittee to consider it.
I can't accept that.
You very unselfishly put your time and energy at Mr. Shred's disposal, for which we're all grateful. But I must now ask you to leave the matter with Reg Palmer and his committee. Thank you so much. Now, I don't need to tell you that if we lose office at the next election, and the opinion polls show that's exactly what might happen.
I asked Roy to come this evening because I wanted him to have a chance to look at what the planning officer and the architects department have produced. I hope that what he's seen will lead him to cooperate with us from his side of the chamber when the time comes for us to present it in full council. I think I can honestly say that this scheme is non-controversial, and I hope you won't oppose it.
I will certainly study it, Annie. There are more controversial matters that divide us. Certain proposals on education, for example.
Now, come on, Roy. You know quite well we're not withdrawing sixth form education. We're simply proposing.
Not now, Percy, if you don't mind. I do thank Roy for coming along, and now I believe he has some urgent business elsewhere.
Strangely enough, it just so happens that I do. Oh, please, please, I can see myself, eh?
Good night,
Roy.
Good night, Roy.
I'd appreciate it if you treat what I have to say with absolute confidence. Morris Taylor and Reg Palmer are going to do their best to kill this scheme. In order to prevent that happening, I need all the support I can get.
You intend to make an issue out of it?
It already is an issue, Percy. With Craig in possession of the site, it's an urgent issue. I intend to take that issue up.
As I understand it, Mr. Craig has applied to our planning department for outline permission to erect a brewery on this site, has he not? And we've rejected his application.
Yes.
Well, isn't that the end of it? I mean, I don't know too much about the planning laws, but surely if we've turned him down...
He can appeal to the minister. That's why this is so urgent. If we don't put forward a realistic alternative, and Morris Taylor's festival project has never been realistic, I think we'd all agree, then Craig's appeal will be upheld, and we'll be stuck with his monstrosity right bang in the centre of the city.
Have you spoken to Morris about this?
I asked Morris for a debate on the subject in open council. He turned me down flat. In the light of that, I intend, if you're willing to support me, to put a question down on the agenda at the next meeting of full council.
Oh, that's why Roy Gubb was here. You need opposition support against Morris Taylor. Well, that's rather... tricky, that, isn't it?
I don't think so. I thought it was plain that I was asking that Roy and the opposition treat the matter as non-controversial. Mr. Raphael, you're to some extent involved with Craig, I believe. Let me ask you where your vote would go.
Well, I'd certainly welcome a debate. How I'd vote would depend on what came out in a debate.
Well, I'm absolutely against this ghastly brewery thing. Mrs. Kemp can count on my vote, absolutely.
Thank you.
The fact is, Tom, you've badly underestimated her. With Roy Gubb and his people voting for her, Morris Taylor's a dead duck.
Only if she gets a debate in full council.
Well, that's why she's been so clever. I mean, once she asks the question in public, she can push it to the vote if Morris opposes her, and she and her supporters will beat him at the vote.
We better stop her asking the question.
Well, you can't stop her. Any councillor can put down a question on the agenda.
That's right, Lewis. So we better make sure it isn't her.
Well, how are you going to do that?
All that's available, besides the published accounts and balance sheet, is the report which Mr. Raphael had his auditors prepare for Mr. Bastides.
Fairy tales?
Possibly, Mr. Craig, but there's no way we can establish that without access to the internal bookkeeping. And there's no way short of burglary in which I can manage that.
His properties are overvalued, even by the published accounts.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Bastides will have taken that into account when making his financial proposals. Now, all I can suggest is that I collect what information I can through trade contacts and then produce figures by extrapolation using our data processor. We can then compare the results with Mr. Raphael's published figures.
All right, Jamal. Why don't you do that?
Roy Gubb's agreed to give his people a free vote. This is serious, Morris.
She hasn't officially asked to have her question put down on the agenda yet. There's plenty of time before the next full council meeting.
Can I be frank, Morris? It's this festival project. The fact is, old chap, people have got a bit fed up with it. A lot of people wouldn't mind seeing it quietly dropped. This fella Shred, he's not a bad scheme he's got together. I'm not saying it's anything like that bloody great... I mean, it hasn't got the boldness of concept of your festival project. But it does look nice.
Looks nice? It looks nice? Do you think I want to go down in the history of this city for something which looks nice?
I just thought if you were to say the word, I could get it adopted by my committee as official policy. And Annie Kemp would be left high and dry, wouldn't she? I mean, we'd have seized the initiative, wouldn't we? Spiked her guns for her.
Any scheme put forward will have to meet with Craig's approval.
So shall I tell Shred to get in touch with Craig?
No! No, I'll be getting in touch with Craig.
Why, yes, of course. So I'll send Shred to you to brief you about his scheme, shall I?
No, Reg. I'm not adopting Shred's scheme, I'm afraid. Off you go, Reg. I'll take care of this.
Yes, Mr.
Get me the Minister of the Environment, Linda, please. Parliamentary Private Secretary. Mr. Dobson.
You'll appreciate, Minister, that the festival concept provided so strong a cultural and recreational element in our overall planning scheme that I've been able to permit a level of commercial and industrial development in other parts of the city far greater than would otherwise have been tolerated.
And come near to balancing the city budget.
Your rate income figures are remarkable, Morris. Excellent record on the spending side as well.
And we've kept our unemployment figures at an acceptable level, relative to the rest of the country, anyway. So, ironically enough, although it's never been built, my project has had a strongly beneficial effect on the economic well-being of the community as a whole.
Only central government could take advantage of a scheme like Slatterly. National economic policy based on an entrancing myth.
I thought that's what you did base national economic policy on.
Seriously, Morris, what we're going to see is not in the realms of fantasy, I take it.
By no means, Minister. What I'm going to show you is realistic, feasible, economically viable. But far more than that, something unique in Western Europe. Imagine this, dominating the skyline by day, and at night, you are looking at the world centre for trade, commerce and industry. It will also house the largest leisure, recreational and cultural complex in Europe.
What do you want, tea? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
2 teas, now, please. All right, Roy. What's Annie offered you?
Who told you she offered me anything?
Never mind who told me. You never promised her a free vote from your side of the chamber without a trade-off. What's the deal?
Defeating the leader of the majority party on a question put down by one of his own people can't be bad, can it? Get me a name in the papers anyway.
It'd be better to defeat him with a question put down by your party, wouldn't it? You could force a vote of confidence, couldn't you?
Oh, sure. That'd really put the cat among the pigeons.
Among Maurice Taylor's pigeons,
Right.
So? He'd want to do a deal with you, wouldn't he?
God, you had a crafty book, didn't you?
I just don't want Annie putting down questions, that's all.
I can't do anything on council housing. Annie Kemp chairs that committee. But there is education. Burgess Green.
Scrub the sixth form college.
I can't scrub it. It's central government policy. I could drop it for the time being.
Until after the elections.
I understood that you were putting down the question, Mrs. Kemp.
If we're to defeat Morris over this, we have to rely on the opposition vote.
The question on the agenda paper starts off, does this chamber have confidence in the current planning policy of the majority party, having regard to the inordinate delay and so on? Well, doesn't that mean that it'll be a vote of confidence?
Yes, it does.
Oh, no. No. I'm not getting into anything like that. I mean, if it was over something really vital, sixth form colleges, for example, certainly fight all along the line. But Mrs. Kemp's asking us to back some planning department scheme that isn't even a concrete reality.
I must agree with Percy. If the scheme had been agreed by Mr. Craig and there was a real chance of it going ahead and something being built on that dreadful empty site, it might be different. But as things are, Percy is quite right. It is not enough to cause all the trouble which will inevitably ensue.
I give you my word that either I shall produce agreement between Craig and Mr. Shred, or else I'll abandon the plan of voting with Roy Gubb. Do I have your support for that?
So, you and I get together with Shred on the basis of this. Then you get up at the council meeting and announce that you've sewn it all up. The planning officer and the developer have agreed terms, and will the full council be instructed by the leader to ratify the agreement? Morris Taylor either agrees or resigns. Either way, you end up leading the party. Joan of Arc.
Rather than see his festival project rejected, Morris Taylor will resign.
You think so? You've gone behind his back. You've colluded with me. You've improperly sought the help of an officer from outside your own department. You've failed to inform Reg Palmer and his committee. You've been generally devious and dishonest. I don't know. You're a bit naive, you really are. Doing deals with an ambitious young woman and conspiring with her against the chairman of the planning committee isn't the way a developer wins the love and affection of his local council. I'm sorry, Annie. You know me. I never mix in politics.
You get the politicians to do your mixing for you.
That's as may be. Anything on health and housing, I'll listen to you. But until you're chairman of the planning committee or leader of the council, I've got nothing to say to you about Slatterly.
If I don't get an agreement with you, I've nothing to fight Morris Taylor with. And nobody else is going to, Tom, nobody. You've heard about his World Centre for Trade idea. I know it's nonsense, but he could hold you up for at least another year before that's knocked on the head.
You've been going about this the wrong way, you know. If you could keep it inside your own party, you could walk in and have it out with him face to face. Your own people wouldn't have to vote against him in public unless he forces it on you. And you wouldn't have gone behind his back.
Go to him before the council meeting, you mean?
Stop playing Joan of Arc and start playing politics. Use the council debate as a sort of a threat. A bit of a bluff. He's got more to lose than you have.
If he gives in, there'll be no public debate, though. He'll just get up and announce that he's adopting Mr. Shred's scheme and instruct the planning committee to get to work on it with you.
For God's sake, Annie, use your head for once. The whole party group will know he's backed down in a direct confrontation with you. You can't make political capital out of that. Anyway, he won't back down. Not while he thinks his World Trade Centre's got a fighting chance.
Am I to take it then that you'd approve of my leading the party group? I've always believed in our ability to work together, Tom, in spite of what happened between us.
That's right, Annie. I thought the same myself.
And thank you.
Advice is cheap.
Good advice, isn't it? Before we go along and meet Morris, I'd like to say one thing. I am about to challenge him on what he has made a matter of major party group policy. If, therefore, any of you feel unable to support me, not only this morning in Morris's office, but if it comes to that in the council chamber tomorrow afternoon, please tell me now, so that I can call this meeting off and offer my resignation. Good. Thank you. Off we go then. I'm grateful, Morris, for your agreeing to meet us at such short notice. But we all feel...
Morris.
We all feel that it's only right that we should discuss the outline scheme before the subject comes up at tomorrow's meeting. You'll have seen from our memo that we are requesting the planning department be directed to adopt as official policy the outline scheme prepared by Mr. Shred and his staff. Our object is to present Tom Craig with this scheme as a basis on which to negotiate...
No.
I'm sorry?
No, positively not.
Then I'm afraid, Morris, that you leave us with no choice but to vote with the opposition tomorrow afternoon. And I don't need to tell you that with the support of the councillors in this room, that means certain defeat both for your policy and for you personally as leader of the party group.
There's no question regarding the Slatterly development down on the agenda for tomorrow afternoon. Roy Gubb agreed to withdraw his question after I told him of my proposal for the establishment of a world centre for trade and industry on the Slatterly site. I shall be meeting with the developer, Craig, and his financial advisors very shortly, and I shall then be in a position to make a public announcement. In the meantime, I'd be grateful if you treat the matter as confidential. Had this bit of unpleasantness not come up, I wouldn't have mentioned it. You've been taking on too much lately. Is George Plummer here?
Yes.
I want to relieve Mrs. Kemp of some of her workload. Would you be prepared to take over the Health and Housing Committee for me?
Well, yes, Morris, if you want.
I'm sure you'll give George all the help he needs. Won't you, Annie?
To accommodate the Hall of Industry, which will of necessity be a very large structure, we shall have to lose the Queen Elizabeth Walk, the Opera House, and most of the pedestrian precinct.
Lose it?
Yes, Mr. Taylor. Now, if one looks at the Birmingham Trade Centre, one sees that it is mainly low structure.
This in no way compares with the Birmingham Centre. That's not even a collection of glorified sheds. This is a world centre. World shred. I want the architectural features preserved.
Well, frankly, Mr. Taylor, I think the original architects ought to be brought in.
Bring them in, then.
There'd have to be a financial allocation. We have no provision made in the departmental budget.
Oh. All right. I'll get a hold of the minister. Perhaps we can get a grant from the central government.
You wait till I get started on that World Trade Centre of his. I'll make him look such a bloody fool he never dare show his face in the council again. I'll get him on telly. Only got to get a local politician on telly and he's done for. Morris Taylor. I'll make him wish he'd never left home.
What you ought to be thinking about is trying to save his face rather than stamp on it.
I want him out of the way, Basil. He's a bloody nuisance.
I think it's time I gave you some advice. Free advice. Personal rather than financial. There's a bigger world than your hometown, Tom. And the people who live in it do things a little differently from the way you're used to doing them.
That's your world, I take it.
Friends. We're all friends. Always. That's the big difference.
Morris Taylor's not in it, though.
Well, he just might be. You never know, do you? He's not stupid, in spite of his obsessions. He's an able politician. So why don't we help him on instead of putting the boot in? Later on, he might be grateful.
What's all this?
I've got the projections based on Raphael's trading figures.
Well, just tell me, will you? I can't read all through that.
I decided to work on a restricted sample time base. I therefore concentrated my inquiries on two periods, a winter month, January, and a summer month, July. I was able to acquire invoices from various suppliers, distillers, wine importers, bottle and can manufacturers, and so on. And through our mercantile intelligence agency...
Just keep it short, Jamal, please.
Mr. Craig, I must explain to you the basis of my calculations.
Has he been cutting corners? That's all I want to know.
I really couldn't say, Mr. Craig.
What the bloody hell's all this, then?
That's what I was trying to explain to you. My computer projections reveal a number of discrepancies between Mr. Raphael's trading figures and the published accounts, which could indicate a manipulation of stock figures, capital account, overall assets.
So what's he been up to?
Been up to, Mr. Craig?
In order to cover up these discrepancies?
I can't possibly tell you. There are numerous ways in which profit might be inflated, in which stocks might be shown to be larger than they in fact are, in which assets could be maximised, costs could be minimised.
Such as?
Over or under invoicing, concealment of realisation of assets by sale or lease, transfer of capital to revenue account, and in the wine and spirit trade, false description of stock.
It's what Louis Raphael's been up to, is it?
Quite possibly. As I said, there are many forms of accounting malpractice, many of them fraudulent. But whether Mr. Raphael has been...
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Raphael's been phoning up his books, right? So, you take away all this bump, you write it up in plain English, just as if you'd actually had a look at his private bookkeeping, alleging every sin in the accountant's manual, and you stick it under Raphael's nose, right?
But it'll be no more than guesswork, Mr. Craig.
What does that matter? Look, if we've guessed right, Raphael will do a deal. If you've guessed wrong, he just tells me to get stuffed, OK?
I'm not sure that what you're asking me to do is in accord with professional ethics, Mr. Craig.
Just get on with it. We'll worry about professional ethics if it doesn't come off.
Where'd you get these figures?
You don't expect him to answer that, do you?
It's complete nonsense. A fabrication. These figures are inaccurate, and the allegations so wide of the mark it'd be a joke if they weren't libelous.
So when I show them to Basil Bastides, you'll be able to sue me, won't you?
Bloody right I will. I'll take you to the cleaners if you so much as showing the outside cover.
Excuse me, Mr. Raphael, you could only succeed in a libel suit against us if you could prove that the figures and allegations are substantially false. Mr. Craig has a duty to inform Mr. Bastides of any matter affecting their joint interests.
All right, Jamal, thanks. I don't need to show that to anybody, do I, Louis? The fact is, you've been cutting some very sharp corners, haven't you? All right, Louis, you play it your way, I'll play it mine.
You've only got the Packy's word for it. It won't stand up.
Don't be a bloody fool. And don't call Jamal a Packy.
You've got no proof, that's what I mean.
I don't need proof I'm not a bloody copper, am I? Molly!
What?
Give me Mr. Bastides!
Oh, Mr. Palmer.
Yeah?
We've received notice from Craig City Partnerships that they're withdrawing their appeal to the Minister on the Slatterly development.
They are they? What's Craig up to now?
Well, I understand that application will be made to my department shortly for planning permission to erect the brewery on the site.
He must be out of his mind. He knows Mr. Taylor will never let us grant him that.
A word in the department is that Mr. Taylor is considering a parliamentary candidacy. That's what's being said in the department.
I think you're quite mad even to think of making him an offer. His debt position's appalling.
I can write it off against tax.
Possibly.
Mr. Raphael's here.
Come on in, Louis. Louis, want a drink? Gin and tonic, isn't it? Well, Louis, you had any bright ideas?
I suppose you want to take the business over.
I'm not interested in the booze business.
You want to shut me down?
I'll close down the brewery for sure. The site's not bad. Split it up. Garage and petrol station. Shops with flats over.
And the hotels and off licenses?
You've got a couple of pubs nicely situated. I might develop those.
We're going to make a deal, I take it. What were you thinking of?
Merger or takeover. Basil will advise me.
Am I to take it that you're a willing party to these negotiations, Mr. Raphael? Because if not,
Your
in all
shares
fairness...
are worth damn all, of course. We'll have to work out something based on asset value. I'll get Jamal to work out a figure.
What about my own personal holding?
Want a cash offer for your own shareholding?
That's what I was thinking about.
Have to be under the counter.
You can't do that. That's defrauding the other shareholders.
A golden handshake. Basil is entitled to that, isn't he?
As long as none of his shares change hands.
The record will show that my shares change hands at the same price that the other shareholders get for theirs.
I want you on my board of directors. We're on keep an eye on you.
Usual fee and share option privileges?
I don't know about share options. I'll have some heavy commitments getting those premises of yours into some sort of shape.
You've got yourself a good deal, haven't you?
What sort of deal do you think you've got? You're going to be learning the property business, aren't you?
Must be an easier way than this. Well, gentlemen, I'll be seeing you.
You are totally out of your mind. That fellow's a bloody crook.
What does that matter? He's got guts, hasn't he? It's a safe seat they've offered you, is it?
It is. Bexley.
You'll be a junior minister in 5 years.
Possibly.
Sure. Minister of the Environment. You've learnt a lot up here.
I have indeed. But I'd sooner not have learned it from a shit like you!
I mean, you can't afford to ignore a candidate who's going to pull in the immigrant vote, now can you? I mean, you are looking to get in at the next election, aren't you?
Come on, Tom. He's not even a member of the party.
Small donation to party funds.
And as a result of his decision to pursue his career in the realm of national politics, he has felt it incumbent upon him to resign his seat in this chamber. We're all very sad that Councillor Taylor will no longer be with us, but I'm sure we'll wish to extend a heartfelt welcome to the man whom the majority party group has chosen to lead them in his place. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome Councillor Reginald Palmer. The first item on this afternoon's agenda is number 2178C, an application from Craig City Partnerships Limited to erect a brewery on the Slatterly development site. Councillor Raphael, Chairman of the Planning Committee.
I must first declare an interest. I am a director of the firm making the application and of the brewery company which intend to occupy the site. However, provided that my friends on the other side of the chamber are prepared to treat this application as non-controversial...
We would normally oppose a development such as this with no housing or amenity gains to the community. However, in view of the enhanced employment prospects which it offers in a city brought to near desperation by the economic policies of the party in power in Westminster, we are prepared to support this application.
In that case, I move that the matter be referred to the Planning Committee for examination and discussion.
Evening, Mr. Roman.
Evening.
I have your invitation, please, sir?
What's going on, lad?
It's a private function, Craig City Partnerships.
And gentlemen, pray silence, please.
That's all right, they know who I am. "5 years old today. But I'm here to talk about the future. And our first step into the future is the new Slatterly development. Stand up, Lewis. The biggest boozer in the Midlands, Lewis Raphael. I don't think he touches the stuff himself. But every time you raise a glass, it's 10 to 1 that Lewis Raphael's handled what's in it. Tell him, Lewis.
One of my suppliers is just about the biggest brewery in Europe. Now, I can't tell you the name, that would be advertising. But it reaches the parts that can't be reached by the beer, that reaches the parts that can't be reached by the beer. Now, you work it out.
They took a look at what the British were drinking and decided they needed a brewery over here. Lewis came to me. I never touched the stuff. Now, Lewis and I have concluded a deal to keep you people smiling. Lewis brings his hotel properties into your company. Valuable properties to be developed and modernised. He also brings his off-licences, bottling plants, wholesale warehouses. These will be handling the distribution on a national scale for the new brewery. All in all, in the last year, we've added approximately £250 million to the assets of your company. There's only one snag. There's only one snag. We got Lewis Raphael on our backs. What else could I do? The fellow was starving. Please welcome Lewis Raphael, Joint Managing Director in charge of licensed and hotel properties, Craig City Partnerships. Hang on, Lewis. We haven't shown it to him yet.
There are people in this country today who say that the spirit of enterprise is dead. Tom Craig is the living proof that that statement is a lie. I only wish there were more men in this country like Tom Craig. It would make my life a lot easier, I can tell you. Bankers are always being criticized because it is said they won't invest their money where that money is needed. Bankers are not different from anyone else. They won't invest in failure. They invest in success. There's no lack of willingness to invest in this country. All we lack are men like Tom Craig to invest in. How did Tom Craig manage to succeed where so many others have failed?
I'll bloody tell him how he's done it, the bastard! He's got there by lying and cheating and bullying them weaker than what he is and bribing them that got in his way. Look at him, you bastard! Piss off!
Get him out, get him out.
The big businessman, eh? The man who's got everything! All but one bloody thing, Craig! Just one thing you bloody got! You bastard, Craig! How bloody get you, you bastard! How bloody get...
Somebody obviously dissatisfied with his dividend.